It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbing Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchendu. Thanks a lot for joining us. Nigeria just turned 62 yesterday, and we are looking for some positive spots if we can find them. But overall, campaigns have officially begun, and I think a lot of that is what's on people's minds. The election season is going on thick and fast. We have a 5-month run till February the 28th for now, when the elections are supposed to hold officially. We know that traditionally the INEC tends to move dates. We're hoping that stands. So yeah, there's a five-month window that's going on, but unfortunately, politics is overshadowing a lot of the issues that Nigerians hold very dear to their hearts. Insecurity cannot be talked about more than it is at the moment. We know what's going on with, just the divisions across board, and the economy is crushing every single person in this country. So we're going to be reflecting on that as Nigeria celebrates its Independence Day and trying to see what the future looks like, especially with the new government that's supposed to be coming in a couple of months. I have here with me Kehinde Ayeni, who's the CEO of Leap Africa. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Are you celebrating? Are you reflecting? Are you one of the many, sadly, who have lost hope and are mostly either moving out or moving on and looking for ways out? Where are you as Nigeria turns 62?
Ebuka, when I'm sitting here, it's with a very deep reflection for where Nigeria is, and also my own commitment to continue to stay and live in Nigeria. So for people like us in our age, we have people asking, what are you still doing there? Why are you there? But we can't allow the country to be governed and controlled by people who don't have the background that we have, the education that we have, and the foresight and vision for the country. And we have to be here. And that's one of the reasons, or the spirit behind people like us who still believe in Nigeria. So I'm one of those who are optimistic.
So what's making you optimistic? Because a lot of people wonder, like you said, I get that question a lot as well. Why are you still there? What are you waiting for?
Yes.
What's keeping you?
First of all,
what are you seeing?
My work does that for me. I work in the development sector, and there's so much going on within that sector that is pushing positivity into the country. Because of what I know, in terms of the investment that's coming to Africa, particularly Nigeria, it gives me hope, it gives me, of course, my optimism in that sense. And beyond the fact that my work does it directly, we are linked with other organizations who are doing similar things. You have many young Nigerians who want to create wealth for themselves, for their generations, for Africa. And so when you meet people like this who, in spite of the odds, in spite of not having anything or coming from low-income backgrounds, they want to make a difference. You see the hope through their eyes. And those are some of the things that just keep going through our minds to continue to do what we do.
Okay. We're joined online by Opeyemi. Okay. I want to find out from you, Opeyemi. Do you feel like this is a situation that's government related? There are people who believe that from May 29th, 2023, things are going to magically change with whoever they decide to vote. Is this an issue with the government in power at the moment? Is it the way the world is now? Is it a Nigerian issue that probably has built up over decades and has gotten us to where we are? What do you think is going on? And do you also feel this sort of slight optimism that she feels?
Thank you, Ebuka. Yes, I'm very optimistic about the future of Nigeria. Of course, the challenges notwithstanding, the killings, the corruption, the unemployment, the uncertain economic outlook, and several other issues that we are faced with as a country. However, the Nigerian's problem is not just the government. Yes, predominantly government, because we are bedeviled by or with bad leadership. People that are, leaders that have not mastered how to manage our asset, our local asset and resources, effectively, especially for national growth or for inclusive growth at the national level. So I believe that yes, leadership is key to the rebuilding process, or to the restructuring that we are hoping for, or to the hope that all of us have. However, I think what gives me hope the most is the people, is the Nigerian itself. If you look at it, if you see Nigerians across the globe, if you see Nigerians, there is mass exodus today. The Jackpot syndrome has caught up with us as a country. However, I believe that, as a development practitioner, I'm into trade. And I understand that Nigeria is the next frontier for global trade. And of course, if you see the quality of people that we are producing as a country, you will realize that there is a lot to be hopeful for. If you see what Nigerians are doing abroad, there is a lot to be hopeful for. So I believe starting from leadership, the change is going to come from there. And of course, the quality of people that we have also, that Nigeria is going to be better someday. Like I tell our friends, Nigerians have the highest threshold of pain rather, in the world, and I believe that we will stay through, until we see the change that we all desire.
So I hear you very well, and I know the argument has never been about the Nigerian, because the Nigerian does well, which is why we thrive once we are in environments or spaces where things are just a little bit less complicated. So the space here is the problem, and many people will tell you that in probably 4-5 decades, maybe since the Civil War, this has been the worst or the most divided or the most insecure that Nigeria has been. And this didn't happen overnight. Made worse for some people by the way the elections have turned out. We have 3 candidates from 3 different political zones, geopolitical zones, or 3 of the major tribes. So it looks like things might even go even more tribal. And the insecurity that used to be, sort of tied to one corner of the country or the other is pretty much widespread. So the Nigerian might be thriving, but Nigeria seems to be the issue. So I hear you on optimism, but I wonder, in that space, where do you see the optimism? Because the Nigerian can go away and thrive. They don't have to be here.
Yes, thank you, Buka. Truth is, it's not just now. Nigeria has always been divided along, the religious line, ethnic, affiliation, and several. Especially the youth movement ahead of the 2023 general election, you will see a uniformity of purpose. You will see people seeing beyond, their religious affiliation. You will see. I'm trying not to, maybe if you get there, not to mention a particular candidate, but if you see the youth movement across the country right now, you'll feel a bit of hope. It started from NSARS, like I say, to people that care to listen. The problem we are facing is not Ido. The problem we are facing is not Hausa or Yoruba. The problem we are facing as a country is universal. All of us are feeling it. So I think that the youth are gradually getting to that point where we are waking up to the realization that there is a need for us to unite, right? Across, regardless of our, religious diversity, to unite to rebuild this country. Hopefully, the agitation of the youth is well represented in the ballot next year. You can begin to see that as the outsiders are seeing themselves as one, and I hope that we're able to sustain that as a people.
All right, let me come back to you now, Kehinde. He talked a lot about young people then. I think that's the one thing that people look at and sort of see potential. We have an unbelievably young population, and it's spread across the country. But it works both ways. There's a lot of talk about how we're building an illiterate population. People out of school, we have the highest number of out-of-school children around the world. We're seeing unemployment skyrockets. Inflation seems to be biting hard. So we have a young population that we could harness. But on the other hand, we're not empowering them. What are we doing wrong, and what should we start thinking about? Is it too late? Because most people tell you when someone has crossed 15, 16, there's not a lot you can do anymore on a broad sort of space to fix things. Maybe individually you can work on 1 or 2 people. But we're at a point where for the last probably 20 years, our educational system has gone to the gutters. And we have those young people who are just there unarmed. I'm talking with skills, for the most part. What should we be thinking?
I'm aligned with both of you on that thought about young people. The youth population is a huge advantage. But the difference is there are people whom we call youth enablers. And these are institutions. Say, for instance, the Ministry of Youth and Sport. That's one parastatal that is doing the work they're meant to be doing. And I believe there are other ministries like that that's also trying to collaborate with youth-focused organizations, trying to do their bit in ensuring that we have the right frame for young people, safe spaces for young people. Young people have been the front and center of that ministry and many other conversations. And so when I think about the sustainability of growing up in Nigeria, it's beyond the family unit. Institutions have to be involved. And so we still need to get the vote, the mind, the hands and the hearts of youth enablers. These are governments, these are corporate organizations, multinationals, because we all have a bit to play in it. Our parents, teachers, we all have a bit to play when we want to develop an awesome young person. It starts from the home, it goes onto the street. Our city is safe enough for a young person to really pick up and do what they need to do. And will we even have a communalism if the environment is not right? We cannot. And so we cannot isolate the fact that we want to train a singular young person or a group of young people. We have to make it national. And that's why the efforts of multinationals and corporates and even development sector is to ensure that we are doing these things across regions. Again, I go back to the regions. So when you think about the South, there's a lot of good opportunities there. But when you go to the North, it's a bit divided. That place, and that's where the highest number of young people is coming from. When you say the high number of illiteracy, out of school children is from the North. And so we have to decentralize resources. We have to ensure that we are very mindful about what we are doing in the South and making sure that there's a fair opportunity up North. And so that would also increase where we can be in a year's time or even in 5 years' time.
Yeah. I want to ask a question to both of you, but let me ask you first, talking politics now, because this restructuring question comes up a lot. A lot of people are scared of the word because they think it means Nigeria needs to be divided or resources won't get to certain places. Do you think that's what needs to happen, where we go back to where we're talking more regional-based governments? Nigeria is too big. Many people say to have just one center that everybody runs to. Is regional governments the answer? I mean, we have 36 states. It's as decentralized as it should be. Because the other argument is, why not we redo our constitution so that these states are more effective? Would you support that argument, or you think we should be more regional? And do you see the conversation in the political space heading that way even?
My point is, we have to get to a point where we accept this restructuring. It's fallacy to do something that you've done and hasn't done any good. And that's why when people talk about restructuring, we have to see it play out. We were not a democratic nation, and then we became one. We had to see, to compare it with the military regime, to say, okay, this is better than the other, or maybe not. And so when I think about it, I think we should welcome it with a lot of opportunities. Again, if we compare Nigeria to other countries, there are countries that function by states. And that's how it should be. If all the states were working, there would be fewer people in Lagos. There will be better housing in Lagos, for instance. And so it's quite important that the local governments are working. They can only work if there is a lot of empowerment from even the State House of Representatives to the local government, the local councils, and streets are being developed, areas are being developed because we are doing that way. And so if we had practiced that for a while, it wouldn't be so odd when you say a state has to break out and generate its own resources. I also truly believe personally that a state government, when they look inward and reduce their dependency on the federal allocation, they will do better. Every state has got its own resources. Nigeria is naturally even blessed, more so. So you have to look within and say, what can we do better? How can we enrich our people? Where are the opportunities? Real estate is something that is happening, at least in the South. I don't know what's going on in the North per se. Whether you're in Ibadan, whether you're in Ilorin, everybody is putting up these mega structures and hoping that someone takes them. And that's an opportunity. If the same thing with agriculture. And imagine if every state was as committed and dedicated. So I think that restructuring is good. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah. So, maybe just to take it a little further now, looking at today, Nigeria is 62. The government continues to say that they've done the most for Nigerians than any other government. And I think infrastructure is what they continue to point at, Is that enough to celebrate at 62? Do you think? I mean, infrastructure is great. Every country is based off of that. You can't build a nation without necessarily having infrastructure that goes with it. And we have a huge deficit in that sector. Looking at Nigeria today and what the Buhari administration continues to talk about, the achievements in that sector and all they've done, do you think that's enough to celebrate? Do you think that's enough to jumpstart things with whoever follows up next year as president?
Absolutely not. Like straight up, absolutely not. However, the Buhari-led administration has done something remarkable in terms of infrastructure development, and of course, but if you look at, one of the major basic rights of every Nigerian is security, right? So if you look at insecurity in this country today, I mean, we can't praise the administration, right? However, if you look at the economic recovery and growth plan led by the vice president, you realize I led the Chamber of Commerce, and I know, I mean, the impact of that on the business community. When we look at the Electoral Act, when we look at the commercialization of NNPC, of course, they've not done. If you look at, if you judge the administration, holistically, I mean, we may have a lot of things to say, but not all is bad. The Buhari administration did some, really remarkable stuff for the country, but definitely not enough. As we look forward to 2023 general elections, we need to ask more questions, and like I said earlier, I'm glad that the youth are woke and the citizens, the citizenry is more prepared, for election. I don't think I've ever seen the citizenry this prepared, and I hope that we translate this frustration to our action when it comes to balloting the 2023 election, and we begin to ask the right questions and ensure that we employ the services of the best candidate who can restructure, very critical, because that way, and that how we enhance productivity, at the state level and also at the local level, which is the closest government, to the people, and also someone who understands how to manage local assets effectively, especially and translate our human resources to human capital and create enabling environment for innovations, for talent to find expression, and of course for economy to build, and of course somebody who can look at, like I said, local asset development in terms of encouraging non-oil export, by which we can earn more forex and stabilize the economy. My thought, Ebuka.
I want us to try and end on a positive note as much as we can, and very quickly now to both of you. Let me start with you, Kwemi. What positives do you see with Nigeria today as we celebrate 62 years of independence? Very quickly.
There is a lot to be grateful for. There is a lot to be grateful for. The positives I see, I mean, will still remain. Number one would be the quality of people that we have here. The quality. Nigeria has fast become the talent hub for Africa or for the world at large. The resilience of the young people, the level of awareness and the wokeness amongst the young people, and the fact that we are together today, regardless of the challenges that, of course, that we are faced with as a country, is quite exciting for me as a person and someone who is into international trade. The hope for Africa, the recent ratification of the African Free Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, and of course seeing that Nigeria is gradually warming up to the fact that yes, we can have a single market, gives me hope that trade can find its route, and of course Nigeria can take, if well positioned, can take it a large chunk of the African single market. Several things to be grateful for, but more top on the list would be the quality of people that we have, and of course the wokeness of our young people and the level of awareness across the country.
All right. What about you? What are you celebrating?
There's still hope because when I think about a country like Rwanda, who got its independence, I think 2 years after Nigeria did, they've been able to turn that country around. And I think what we need is to just give Nigeria maybe 2 more years, 3 more years. It can also happen, but we need one person. If we didn't get into that position, that's Rwandan president now, and change things around for his people, we won't be celebrating Rwanda today. And so I'm hoping very soon, someday, that we have the government, the people who will turn this country around, who will do something for this country that will benefit us for generations to come.
Do you see that person in this? I'm not saying you should mention any names, but are you hopeful? Because there's people who say, oh, all these candidates are the same. No. Do you see hope in the lineup of candidates that could maybe someone present that?
They haven't demonstrated that.
Yeah.
Because when you are trying to become the president of a country, you have this manifesto. I believe they dump those manifestos after they are done. They don't go back. And that's where the people need to hold them accountable. I think we should give people a fair chance. Hopefully, the people that constitute their cabinets will make them accountable, will do something transformative for the country. And so it depends. Let's wait and see.
Thank you very much, Kehinde. Thank you very much, Bakare, for joining us. And hope you're celebrating somehow wherever you're watching us from. We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Please stay with us. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove. Welcome back to the show. I have a special guest here with me, good friend of mine, my brother, Tobi Bakre.
Hey! Bros, I must be doing something right. For you to come on Rubbin Minds twice. This is number 2.
Yeah, you're going to come back more. Because
Of
where you're
course.
going is scaring me in a good way. How you doing, man?
I'm fine.
Congratulations. There's so much happening with you. Let's talk about your journey to this point, first of all, before we get to the real reason
the
why
last
you're
time.
here. Since the last time, exactly. Because a lot has happened since then. You've sort of had your foot in properly in Nollywood now. Do you think that's a good way to say it? Would you call yourself now an established actor in the industry?
Yes.
I mean, you're working constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are different things I'm doing, but right now, if I run into anybody, if it's not Tobi from Big Brother, they're calling me the actor. Tobi
Yeah.
the actor. So I'm getting to be the actor a lot more now, and it's a comfortable space to be.
Which is interesting, because I remember when you left Big Brother, acting was sort of there, but it wasn't what you really wanted to do. So how did this transition slowly happen? Where I know TV presenting was big for you at the time.
Yeah.
How did that evolve into where you are now, sort of a leading man in the industry?
So I was going to try everything that came my way coming out of the house then, and life just kind of pushed me. I was getting hosting gigs here and there, not as much as I wanted because that's the money maker. That's why you're doing it. I was like, you've not left it. So that's why we've been doing it. And then acting picked off, and then it was like, try it. It was weird initially, but I started to enjoy it, and it was just working on a few projects. I fell in love with the actual art of acting, and also a lot that goes into filmmaking. So I found myself being curious about, when I'm not in front of the screen, I'm by the camera guy, looking at what they're doing. I'm observing what the director is doing. Anytime I'm opportune to be in the edit room, I'm interested in everything they're doing. And, I just realized like this is a whole beautiful process, and seeing how what we do on screen, director's choices, and different things, how it comes together and entertains people and makes sense. Like I'm like, I don't mind. I can comfortably be here for a while.
Yeah.
I'll forever enjoy acting.
So you definitely have any formal training?
Yeah.
For acting. So how did you start? Did you have to seek advice? Did you?
So I learned on the job.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, I started from Multi-Choice Hustle, which was like a daily comedy show. So it was very, it was very easy. So like I watched the other guys, and then I'll learn from them. And then we had like the greats. Shola Shobali was also on it. So like, and I watch people a lot. So like I'll observe how they, reading their scripts, when they ad-lib, how they do it. So I was watching, and then, I started to pick up. So even on Hustle, I started to get better. Like I'll watch later episodes, compared to the first episode, and I'm like, okay, I see I'm doing a lot better. Like, and I'm getting more believable to people. And then the first cinema opportunity came with Sugar Rush. And, I kind of aced that. With
I remember that one running scene.
with a few scenes, I kind of aced it. And, it just started to register to me like, this is not fluke anymore. You're actually good at this thing, so you should explore it more. And I kept exploring, and
was there a moment where that happened, where you decided, okay, I guess this is it? Was it a movie? Was it a moment?
I just really like seeing myself on the screen. So I'm like, whatever it takes I will learn it. And, now I figured life will kind of push you. That prayer of God, prepare a table before me.
Yeah.
So I've seen my table now. Acting is...
I hold it.
I'll hold it tight.
But I mean, whatever motivates you is good. But I mean, the staying power is also more important. Which, I mean, I've always heard in Hollywood they say, oh, there's so many leading men, but not enough leading men. It's a very interesting dynamic I hear, which means there's a vacuum, even though there's a lot of people. did you see that, and were you intentional about heading there? That's one side of the
Okay.
question. Secondly, it looks like a lot of the leading men are sort of lover boys. You know, you have a lot of fine boys who want to play romantic roles. You didn't go that path. Most guys who go into the industry go in that
Roman
way.
Palo.
Yeah,
With
you
AC.
you seem to go the other way. Was that? Did you try?
So it wasn't intentional. Well, because of my personal life, I'm an active guy. So
Yeah.
I did get a few roles of, like phases. I did romantic boy, sweet boy. So I can do that. But then it wasn't even an active thing. But then the opportunity for like action, like active movies, like showed up. And I'm like, okay, like I can really own this space, because realistically, looking at it, a lot of things I know I can do, not a lot of people in the industry can do it. So we get on set and, you know, the director needs you to just do this, but I'm willing to do that and more. And they see that. And eventually the end result of that is just amazing. We saw that with Sugar Rush and with Gangs of Lagos and then Brotherhood. You know, we've seen a lot of that. So I've kind of gained the trust of. And then, yeah, like a few other professionals in the industry will tell me, like, we have a good number of leading men, but we still don't have. Like, other actors will tell me, like, Tobi, this space you're coming into, like,
Hold on.
there's nobody else there. Like, so just hold it. And then I'm like, okay. And they respect it. It's more like, it gives me more confidence that, okay, I can act. Okay, if it comes to fine boy in front of the TV, I can do that. And then if it comes to action, I can also do that. So yeah, I'm embodying it, and I'm learning more as you know, as I go.
How were you able, or do you think you have even gotten the sort of confidence of the industry? Because I think we've talked about this a few times in the past, the big brother actors who they don't take seriously. There's also the social media actors that they call them, or the Instagram actors. You are almost both. Because you have a social media following, you're very active on social media, your page is constantly, you know, you're putting up stuff, you're at events, you are influencing. You're also from this reality show that people seem to think only is for people who don't have any talent.
Yeah.
So you're like a double barrel. So do you feel how were you able to sort of surmount that and let them see you as the guy?
So I never really focus on, I don't really focus on what people see me as. You know, I do what I have to do to get ahead, you know, do my work, my honest work, and, you know, just keep me moving. But this particular movie, that I thought people took me seriously, but this movie is showing me that it's like they didn't take me seriously before. Because in my mind, I'm like, I've done a few projects, you know, people love it, people comment, like, and I'm getting calls from directors. So I thought, like, okay, I'm in Nollywood, but you know, people now watching Brotherhood and they're like, come, you can really act though.
And like, wow,
like, you're a serious actor, like you're really talented. And I'm like, before, like we've been saying this thing, I've been showing you people this thing since now. So I think this is the movie that just kind of has broken the ice and letting the world know, Nigeria, Africa know, like, yeah, this boy is a badass actor.
Yeah,
talented.
Let's talk Brotherhood now, because I just saw it and.
How did you feel?
It was really good. First thing, I like the fact that it wasn't too long. I mean, and then it was a genre that's not very explored in Nigeria. You don't see Nigerian action films. So that was really also refreshing. And then the acting, like I was telling you yesterday, Ronke Oshodi.
Bam.
I mean, everybody killed their roles. You obviously surprised a lot of people, like you just said, with how you pulled off, you know, this armed robber,
This character.
ghetto character who is just gritty, you know. Tell us about getting that call. Did you audition, and how did you become a part of this project?
So big shout out to Jade and the writer, Abdul TJ. So they, when they are writing, they kind of have the person in mind. So myself and Jade, we had done Gangs of Lagos. So I had won Jade's trust, or I believe I had won her trust as per...
Which is not out yet. You
brought
out the second one.
Exactly. You know, because for her, a lot of things she expected that I could do, she you know, she knew. But then she made me take training with Lala. Okay. That was the only time I ever got training. And then eventually, when we had to shoot, she saw me do things she didn't even think I could do. So eventually, I gained her trust. And then she just called me like, okay, there's Brotherhood coming, and, you know, is it going to be an action movie? I'm like, well, there's nobody else. It's only Tobi Bakre that can do it. So let's do it. So then I got the script, and even already when I got the script, we already said I changed my diet, you know, because this was an ex-con. I had to look like an ex-con.
Yeah, you were really big in the film.
Yeah, so I had to change like my whole diet, my workout routine, and then I shaved my head, you know, pierced my ear, all of that, just to look like the character. And the moment I could feel like the character, it was easy to do everything else. And that's why you see like a lot of people, the calls I get now is, we didn't see Tobi in the movie. All we saw was Aki, color, the character you were giving us, and you know, I'm very happy everything paid off.
Yeah, what was shooting it like? Because I saw a lot of things there.
It was hectic. It was a lot of work. It was actually a lot of work. The cast and crew, big shout out to everybody. We knew it wasn't easy. There are some times where we'll come like 4 nights back to back and we'll not be able to shoot because the director wanted perfection. Lukman Ali was on the project as a director. Jade was also there, you know, and then they won't take anything average. So we spent like 4 or 5 days on the bridge also. For me, it was even extra challenging because it happened to be a time I was fasting. So having to fast, work out, also be under the sun, doing physical. But you know, it was encouraging because when you're tired, someone like Basket will crack a joke and you're back alive. You know, mom will come, and then you know the energy on set was just heavy, and then you just know you can't disappoint because you look at your fellow actor. They are on set, they are feeding you with enough energy, so you just have to match or do more, and you know that's why we have what we have now.
I've been seeing a lot of people tweet. This is not a spoiler. The bridge scene with you, is that real?
Yeah, real.
You jumped off.
You're already spoiling.
I mean, it's.
We'll get to a big reveal. I mean, I'll still release behind the scenes of that particular.
Please do, because I think my wife almost passed out when she was watching it.
I just want I want enough people to watch it already. There, maybe later in the year, you know. But it wasn't graphics, you know. Yeah, it was actual falling from the bridge.
What was the hardest part of doing Brotherhood?
Hardest part of doing Brotherhood.
Or challenging.
I won't say I like to suffer, but I like, I've been trained to fall in love with hard work. So every part of it that was challenging, you know, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. You know, because I believe in hard work. Like whatever you really put in effort to, as far as you do it well, it'll come out nice. So all of the times I had to suffer, I had scars. You know, I was hungry on set. You know, I was tired, and I had to keep pushing. Like, you know, eventually, like I'll go home and I'll be able to sleep well because I'll be happy. Like, I know I killed it today. Yeah. So that's
when you were doing it, did you know this was the reception people were going to have? Woo! Did you expect this?
I didn't. I knew I gave in my best, and I knew, you know, trusting Jade because I worked with Jade before. I'm like, I know it's going to be badass, but like, I've not seen one bad comment. I've received thousands of comments on this project. I've not seen one saying, oh, it's average, or oh, it was good. It's always like very good. I've gone to how many cinema viewings, and the reception at the end is always the same. People are on their feet, they are screaming, they are shouting. I have not seen this for any Nollywood project ever. Even the foreign projects, like even, you know, the badass blockbusters, Top Gun, people didn't get up and shout. Yeah. But this one, it was more like people took it personal because they could relate to the characters. It was like, like you get so much energy in the cinemas, and it's just
that scene at the end.
We kill her.
People I did like that. It was really, really good. But there was also a scene there that had you intimate with your co-star, Tony Tone.
So I'll just too small.
So I wanted to know, because acting now, you're married, you have a child.
Yeah.
How was that dynamic? Did you have to come around and say, first, this is happening now?
I always have to explain to her. But like, we've got, thanks to Brotherhood, now she understands she's seeing like fully this is his work, you know. And then she's met Tony Tone. So she know, normally they think, they are kissing inside, they must like each other. But now she sees that, okay, it's actually a profession, and you know, they do what they have to do as far as it's connected to the story. But I took my wife to the cinemas to watch. We were watching with people. People already saw me and my wife coming. And then the first scene with Tony Tones where we kiss comes on, and my wife just starts coughing. Everybody in the cinema erupted. It was funny as. But yeah, I mean, for the story, we do whatever we want to do. We have to do. Yeah. And you know, that's what it is. And
does that now change the dynamic of the kind of roles you can take?
Personally, I don't want it to. As far as I love the story, if I love the story, if I would like to be in that film, I don't want the fact that and I thank God I have a trusting and understanding partner. So she understands, like, okay, she understands and trusts me enough to know that, okay, if he wants it, there must be something in there for him, you know, career-wise or, you know, for whatever reason. So she trusts me, and, you know, that works well for me. Yeah. And we're happily married with one son, one very bouncing baby. So she ain't got no worries.
Are there roles? Where do you draw the line with what you would take?
What I'll take?
Because I mean, Nollywood is probably not there yet, where you are doing maybe full frontals.
Of course, we can't.
If there's an intimate situation where it's probably as graphic as possible.
No, the directors can be very, like with filmmaking, the directors can be very creative with a lot of things they do. You know, in some cases where I'm not comfortable, we can use a body double. You know, the angles can be shot from a different angle where, you know, it looks and feels intimate, but in actual reality, it's not as, because we shoot with like 20, 30 people in the room. So even that kissing thing is very romantic. It's really not.
It's
Because
really
it's
just
like,
work.
no, pause, wait till they change the camera and go, yeah, action, you go again. So, you know.
Fair enough. So talking of family life now, I don't think we've had you on the show since you got married.
Yeah.
How's that going? I think you surprised a lot of people. I didn't think you were going to get married.
They
as
never
early as
see
you
me
did.
coming.
Yeah.
They never ever
They
see me coming.
definitely didn't say that. How's married life? You're a father now. Big deal. And I've seen the change in you. From the guy who used to fly.
Jump around.
I mean, you're still flying,
I'm
but
behaving myself
probably more controlled. How's that going?
Very interesting. It's a new space of life, but I'm loving every bit of it. I'm learning every day while learning every day. And so far, it's just been rewarding. And then, you know, things got really better after our first year. I don't know what I think they say about first year. You know, it seems like it's true. So first year, we need to butt heads. But like now, even me, I look at that like, we never quarrel in a while. Now, what's up?
Are we doing something wrong?
Like, are we doing, like, what's going on? Is he waiting for us in front? So now, it's very, and now there is more for me to work for. So right now, I look at what I'm doing and I'm so happy because my wife is proud of it, you know, my family is proud of it. You know, before it was just my family and, you know, my dad and mom, they are used to it, like, but now I have a son, I want you to grow up and look at your dad, like, go to class and be like, do you know my daddy? Yeah, you know, that's what, there's more to work for now, so, yeah.
Awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on everything, man. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Brotherhood is in cinemas across the country. Right?
Across the continent.
No vex.
Across the continent.
So please go out and watch it. I've seen it. I don't hype nonsense, like you say. And I definitely enjoyed every bit of it. And Tobi was amazing. That AMVC, I think, might be loading.
Bros, might.
It's loading.
And Gangs of Lagos is still Iche. Thanks, bros.
Thanks for being here today.
And thanks for always being a great role model.
Yeah.
Thank God for people like you. We can't afford to mess up.
Thank God for not messing up.
Yeah, we won't. I'm not going to shame you.
Nice one, man. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Please stay with us.
All right.
Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
You're welcome back to the show. I have a special guest here with me, a good friend of mine, very funny boy. He has been cracking me up before we came on. Timi Dakolo is here. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Ebuka.
Happy Independence Day.
Same to you too, man. Same to
Why'd
you.
you say that with... How are you celebrating?
I don't get tired. In all honesty, I don't get tired.
Why?
Like, I don't know again. You know, we are the people that hope against hope.
Yeah.
When there's no hope, when we've gotten to the end of hope, we somehow, as Nigerians, manufacture hope.
Again.
And use it. But you don't finish.
Yeah.
You don't finish because we're here. It's this place where we are. It's that tipping point.
Yeah.
For a generation, for a country, for a people, we are there.
Yeah.
We just because we they catch cruise where we know they know say we did there, but we don't read it.
It's very interesting that you say that because I always used to tell people that I'm the most patriotic Nigerian. Now I love this country. I went to school for my master's. Everybody was wondering, what are you coming back there to do? But this was in 2010. And I was like, what am I going there to do? I came back from America. I was very happy. And I always tell people that if I went to school today, I don't know that I will come back. That's how much of a mind shift that has happened with me. You gave us a song that people have said should replace the anthem because of how, you know, how much it invokes in people, the pride, you know, just the hope and all of that. And you are here now.
I'm here now.
So it makes people wonder if someone like you is there, what's left? Are we really at the end? And how did you get here? Was it one thing or was it a gradual progression, you think?
Let me put it this way. I used to sing that Great Nation song.
Yeah.
Like my life depended on it. But because my life did depend on it, because I'm not getting another
actually
place where I
believed
won't
it.
go, really. Now here where they mostly feel like home. But then again, lately, Ebuka, when I sit down to sing that song, I have to constantly tell
Like you don't
myself,
believe it.
yes, like I have to constantly tell myself one more time, Timmy, one more hope, one more step, one more. If I don't do that, at some point in the song, I begin to feel like I'm lying. I'm being honest here. Like, one more hope, Timmy, one more time, one more verse, one more belief. So I don't, because of it's been this hope, when you unravel it, there's still no, we still don't get, we're in a very critical time in this country. It's election season. And we have been seeing a lot of things. Okay, where do we go from here? What's the plan of this person? I'm not just talking of bogus ideas. What's really your plan? What's your intention? Leave all these posters you're printing and all these people you're visiting. Are you doing this for Nigeria? Or are you doing this for yourself? So I'm in that place where I'm like, yes.
There's a jackpot culture now that's happening, and we're seeing that even seeping into the entertainment industry. Without mentioning names, you and I know a lot of artists who don't live here anymore, they visit to work. People have moved their families abroad and all of that. It's something that's happening now. And it makes you wonder, because the conversation is always, we are the ones that are going to still end up fixing it. You know, a lot of these guys, nature will take its course and they're going to have to leave the scene at some point. If everybody's leaving, who gets it fixed? Or are we at a point where there's no point trying to fix it?
I don't think we have gotten to that point where it's unfixable. I think we're in that point where people are tired. Like, if you look...
And I think 2020 broke a lot of people.
Yes, like, you know, how we got here is that we had hoped that 2015 was the redemption year.
Yes.
I said, oh yeah, this guy. You know, I have this analogy where I give, like, I live in Lekki. I have a Benz. And I turn on my Benz in the morning to go to the mainland and it doesn't come on. I turn on my second car, it doesn't come on. And I look from my balcony and I see that my neighbor gets one car we never use for long. And he says, I beg, might use your car, they go mainland. The car takes me, I'm moving, then stops me on 10 Mainland Bridge. Which is worse? You can't leave your neighbor's car and go. You're going to be. You can't leave. You are there. You are there. That's why I'm saying that. Now we're looking at people that are coming up, that are both in the local level and everybody. What's changing? And again, I think that Nigerians are missing a lot of points. An agenda is bigger than party, because in Nigeria it's very easy to change. You can just say it, and you're in another party.
Yeah.
You can just say it, and literally you're in another party. So we're saying that tomorrow I'm here. If I paint my car that is downstairs now another color, it's still my car, it's still the engine. Nothing has changed. So what are you bringing that is different in 2023? We can't keep saying, we can't always go back to say the former person spoiled this place. Because as I'm here, I'm pitying for the person that is coming.
Yep.
You don't know the person has work to do. The person has work to do is like this building that we're inside now. If a tenant scattered this building and paint outside, we will think that, yeah. Until the next person comes and discovers that the sink is not there, the shower is broken, the pumping machine is not there, the lights are not working, the meter is gone. So instead of picking up from somewhere, you're starting afresh. And the dollar is running and leaving us. Everything. Because people say, bring investment. But what if you have money, will you invest in Nigeria? Like, be honest, let's be honest. In how scattered it is, in how anybody can bend the law. And would you say, okay, you have 10 billion. This is the perfect place to invest. We should be saying this truth. Yeah. We must first of all fix us first before we ask for anything else.
We'll take a break now and we'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
What sort of responsibility do you think people in your industry have? Because I see people send tweets sometimes, oh, you people are not speaking up. Mm-hmm. You people are the ones that are supporting, you know, you even got some flack.
They gave me that, I went to go and sing.
You went to sing at a political event or something along those lines. And, you know, so all of that happens. What sort of responsibility do you think you and your colleagues have?
We must, see, as I'm here now, I've decided in my heart, no matter how flamboyant, how coloring, how enticing a speech is, I don't have any candidates. You must come and tell me in detailed terms what you want to do with us, where we are right now. Because where we are now. So before I go and put it, I support this person. As I'm here and I don't have anybody. I don't trust anybody. I've trusted leaders forever and ever, but we have not gotten it right. So I think, wow, I tweeted something the other day. I said debate should be mandatory. They should, because let me say, I'm not showing up for debate. I'm not. You must give us a detailed information what you want to do with us. What you
So
want
you
to
want
do.
debate to be mandatory?
I think so. I think it should be like it should
But
be like.
also, people also argue that debates don't change anything because debates, for me and you, might decide who we want to vote, but the vast population, a vast majority of
They don't watch
Nigerians
debates,
don't
yeah.
care for things like
But
that.
it's
They
me,
want to
me and
connect.
you will still vote. One vote. People just think that 1 vote, 2 vote, 3 vote, 5 votes. Trust me. If a candidate convinces you, when you sit down with people to tell, you have something to tell those people.
Yeah.
You might actually sway their votes onto your side. You get? If you say okay, like you say we are celebrities now, I can't say okay, this is what I'm voting for and this is why. Okay, this is who you are voting and this is why. People have the this thing to choose.
Yeah.
Okay, this person. Oh, I'll go for this person. I think it's more on the educational side. It's more on the industry side. It's more on the transportation. It's more on the infrastructure side. So we're all making our points. So we are celebrating now. We have to be, our followers are people, and they listen to us. So you say, okay. But I don't care who you vote for. It's not my business. It's democracy. You can decide like, And people vote for different reasons. For selfish reasons, for Nigeria, sentiments, for tribe. Let us not mistake that it always comes to play. It's for different reasons. But it's just for because of the amount of people that listen to you. Like me now, when they say I want to go and sing for political events, my brother, they called me, Timi, they want to do something. I said, okay, this is my money. I said it there and then. I said, please don't carry any, what do you call it?
Flag.
Banner on it in me. I just want to sing my Great Nation song. If anybody calls me, anybody, I will sing my Great Nation song and go. Anybody. It's my own. Just like they call you now, say they call you now, okay, come on, in one party, another one calls, another one calls. It's not an endorsement. Until I carry for my placard for your head, and I did not say. So the person that cooks in the event, the person that provides the canopy, all of us will not have jobs to do. But I will make it because this is the job I'm doing. After that, if I decide to choose this person, that's the person I've chosen.
Do you think entertainers or celebrities or people in public figures should always publicly endorse or speak on?
It happens everywhere.
Do you think it's important that they do, is what I mean?
I think it's important that they do at some point in time and stick by that your belief.
Yeah.
It's democracy. We might show up here and they're having buffet and I say my own is ogbono soup and rice. And I have reason why I'm eating ogbono soup and rice. You see how stupid it sounds? But to me, that is what I want to eat this day.
Yeah.
Someone say, man, I go with a wedu and brown rice. It's my choice. It's the reason for democracy that everybody can choose.
Yeah.
So don't put me under pressure. Me and you now, we first to be human beings first. Don't put me under pressure. Say I should support. Just because I don't support who you are supporting does not make we are enemies. The Nigerian police, they made us feel like if I don't support who you are supporting, I'm an enemy of the state. No, I'm not. It's democracy. Yeah. Let the person that gets the highest vote win.
Yeah. How do you navigate your songs being played in this rally? Because I know you had.
No, that one.
How does that work? And what is it about?
Like if you want to use person's credit, just like you just show up somewhere, one beer parlor, your picture did here. You hold another brand of this way you need to support. It's a creative work. At least say, we want to do this thing. It's not even the party that was annoying me. It's that these Nollywood actors that know me, they can't even sing one verse. They can't remember one verse of the song. They were just waving flag like that. You go come say, we won't use this thing for this particular cause. Would they endorse this person? Or would they do this? You will say that and I will say, okay, no wahala. Normal. I be your guy and my song. Now, Nigerians are giving stupid reasons in the end, but don't DJ play the song. Uncle, you don't know about creative work. If it's in a public space and somebody is using it for a particular purpose, apart from a party, somebody pays for it.
Yeah.
We don't know that every time a music is played, everywhere else in the world, the artist makes money, the songwriter makes money. It's only in Nigeria that people just go. If they play a song in the mall, you get paid. That's what they call royalties.
Yeah.
But Nigerians will just go just because somebody is mixing your song inside his own CD.
You say, would they help you?
Would they help you to publicize your song? No, uncle, no give me publicity. I don't want to be popular, I want money.
Okay. But so music is in a very interesting space now. I mean, we're seeing what's happening
all over the world.
People are just, it's going crazy, you know, and you have been in the thick of it for quite a while now. How are you finding the industry now, away from all of this politics? Because people are saying if anybody should be complaining, those in music should not be complaining because now that they make money now, you guys are killing it.
God, are you hearing that?
You know, so how are you finding the industry now, and are you happy with where you are?
I think we're getting the attention of the world. That is one of the most important things. Like you watch white people, like pure Mississippi white people singing Booga, last, singing. Yeah. Actually, that's one of my favorite line of anything. That thing gets stuck in your head. So you go come up. That is it. So you see that we are getting the attention of the world, and now people are not thinking of royalties. The thing that is the problem now is that there's no structure.
Yeah.
People think that I'm making individual money, but if there's a structure, you make more money.
What does structure look like?
Structure means that everybody in the music industry has a particular binding law that you cannot go away from. Like there's publishing, there's songwriting, there's record label. Everybody has it's like division of labor. We all know what we are doing.
Yeah.
We all can chase our bread and know exactly what amount is accrued to us. You get? So, but we're not there yet. Some will just think that it's just going for shows, and no, there's truckload of ways too. So if we put those things together, everywhere else in the world, when the radio plays your song, they pay you. When I really pay.
So that structure, is it an NBC issue? Is it a census board issue? Is it
It's everybody.
A guild issue?
It's
Who's going to make that
everything.
happen?
We have to sit down and say, guys, but the artists are the creators of the music. Say, guys, we could sit down. Let's do it as it is done everywhere else. So that when you stop making music, on the old school track, when they play it, you still get money. So you don't vanish into thin air after you don't make music anymore. You get my point? So people like, I told somebody that I was in LA and Lionel Richie had a show. And he was like, he's a new artist. Like people grew up with him and they've stayed with him and passed him. You see how Elvis Presley has it's like a culture.
Yeah.
So we should have those things. So people like Sonny Ade should be filling stadiums. People like Onyeka Onwenu should block ABBA, the whole of ABBA when she wants. You get, because we need to put those things together. Remember that we used to run around with turntable. They used to go and carry. Sometimes we carry cassettes. We carry cassette and we use Byron and turn it. And see, we have evolved past that place. But even then, they used to make money. So we need to put these things together, all these things together. We need to sit down. We have to find people that know. In fact, we need consultants. We need to bring, okay, how want to do this thing? How do people do it where you do it? More stop first. More forget all this 4 million, 3 million.
It's not 4 million. 3 million.
Yes, because you make more money.
Interesting. So what's next for you now? Because I know you navigate this music industry very interestingly. You know, sometimes we're like, oh, is he gospel? No. Is he inspirational? Oh, he's in the word again. You know, you navigate it very interestingly. What's Timi evolving into now?
It's because I define music differently. For you to make success out of a thing, you must have a definition of it. So I don't think that you should just dish out plenty music, because it takes away from the strength of the music. So what I do is that I look at the times.
Yeah.
And what have I given you that I've eaten so long? Let me give you something else. Because people will be prone to abuse a buffet than when it's just, that it's just rice and beans. That the only thing we did to chop be that. So that me, I have an album ready. It's called The Chorus Leader. I have everything inside. Even the Obim is inside the album. Amen is inside. And some other tracks. And what I do is that I wanted to release this and I said, but no, politics will drown it. People's attention, we no long like that.
Yeah.
No matter how beautiful songs are. Like I believe that one good work is far better than 100 ordinary work. If Picasso had paintings everywhere, we will not value the things, the few work he had done. And the danger, I used to tell creatives, like the danger of having plenty ordinary work is that it takes away from that one powerful one. It takes from the energy of that one powerful work. So now that your one powerful work, even when it's supposed to take people there, you don't something else don't chop from them. So it was that song that time. So you get, so me as I cannot remember plenty songs than from that lady, because it was that one powerful work.
Yeah, she left a mark.
You get? Ekwe, 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 ekwe. So is that, see, one,
So when are you dropping this album?
next year. But I think I'll drop a track this year. It's called Men of the South.
Okay. So at least you're going to give us something.
Something for Christmas. So that we will share this money too for this Christmas.
Thank you very much, TV man. All the best.
Good
with
man.
Everything.
Good man.
And
My fellow artist.
this guy
Love
dragged
you.
me to do a song. I still cannot believe it.
Me self, I cannot
I
believe
did
it.
sorry, I did video on top.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Thank you very much
Good
for
work,
joining
man.
us today. And thanks for watching the show. Like I always say, you can follow the conversation on social media. Please use the hashtag Rubbin Minds when you send us a message. I'll see you next time. With us.
Get with you. Don't just